And we're live. Welcome to this random mess of a show that I absolutely love. But here we are. There we go.
Howdy, howdy, listeners. This is Random Nerve.
And Meg Opinionated, and we're here to talk about what sounds like conspiracies, but I promise you they're not. I promise you they're not. Um, so as remember how I said we'll have to find out if I can go live on X once I go live. Yep, can't go live on X apparently. Do I have to get
Ah,
in? Like I don't even know. Anybody watching, if you know how to go live on X, let me know. So I've been trying to figure that out all freaking day. Let's see.
so Meg,
Mm,
what's the most interesting part of the research we've been doing?
say that again.
Like,
I'm sorry.
what has been the most interesting part of the research that we've been doing?
The most interesting part. Oh God. Honestly, how old this shit is and how relevant it is to us today. I would say that's
That's a,
probably the most interesting part about it.
that is a good take on it. I would say how we, as a nation, have believed the lies of our U.S. government for so long.
Right. Right. It's oh my gosh. It's such a freaking mess. It's literally such a and nobody really wants well actually so many people are talking about it right now like and it's funny because we've been talking about this for over a month, easily over a month. We've been talking about these connections with these, our government and blah 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 blah. But who's been really talking about it recently too? We've got Candace Owens, which everybody's hating on Candace Owens, but whatever. Then we have Tucker Carlson also talking about these kind of things, which I did share in my Telegram group, an episode or one of Tucker Carlson's last episodes on his show, which has to do with some of the things that me and Random are going to be talking about tonight. So set that up, which is great. So all right,
The
it does
main
say.
takeaway,
Go
viewers, the main takeaway is just think out everything that you research. Just connect the dots. You see one dot, you see another dot. Start making connections. It's not that hard.
It's really not.
And uh, yes, you will go down some rabbit holes. Yes, it'll take some time to really think things through. But I want you to um, I just want you to think critically on it. You don't have to make conclusions. My conclusions change all the time. But
Right.
the research that Meg and I are doing, and especially remember this show is on history. It's a history class on our own intelligence agencies.
Yes.
Even the FBI has its own intelligence. So just ask questions. That's all it is. Yeah, you may be labeled a conspiracy theory, but you know what? The term conspiracy theorist, I should say, was coined by the CIA after JFK assassination because they wanted it was a PR issue. They agency was a full embarrassment, and they were looking for ways to move the spotlight off of them. That's all. That's
Absolutely.
all it was.
Absolutely.
So don't when and I still want to dive into what this whole rabbit hole issue is all about because all it is it's just research.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And whether you like Candace Owens or not, you know, Tucker Carlson, even Brett Cooper, all of you, we're just independent researchers and journalists. So, Candace and Tucker, but we're just independent researchers. And for Meg and I, we're completely amateurs. You know, I do this as a hobby. And you know what? I find more value. By all means, I will listen to Candace and Tucker and all these other researchers, journalists. But for myself, I'm a complete amateur. I do this as a hobby. And as I shared before, I love history. I love diving into history. So take it upon yourself to just ask questions. And yes, there is AI chats out there. Be very, very, very careful of how you utilize it. I'm not saying to not use it. I'm saying be very careful of how what you type or the prompts you type out. Um, as I share my intro episodes, my podcast, keywords, tricky phrases. I look for keywords, key search results to tricky search uh, browsers and stuff. So as you type, as you think out your prompt, there are, so I avoid Google Gemini, I avoid Edge Copilot, I avoid Chat GPT. Those are known biases. And we'll dive more into browse. Oh, speaking of biases, Google and even Facebook have come out and admitted that they censored on conservative creators under pressure from the U.S. government during Biden's administration.
Mm,
This isn't to pull biases, but it shows you plain and simple that these tech companies do not care for your data. They sold your data to the government.
yeah, and they didn't give a fuck. They didn't care at all. So I wanna touch real quick on the whole Chat GPT AI shit. Have you seen the documents from the CIA coming out about AI and uh, how they figured out how to create AI and where it stems from?
Really?
I was really, really hoping you hadn't looked into this. I haven't said anything all week.
No.
This
Please
is your
explain.
So they came out about how they have used demons and spirits and mediums to figure out how to create AI. So AI is more of a opening to the world of the dead, apparently, which I know sounds like a conspiracy, but I promise you these documents came out, and that's how they had to figure out how to use AI, because AI isn't anyone from the actual living, or if they are, they're actual like demon possessed people who have the higher knowledge. It's not just like a computer that reads everything on the internet. They had to put a base to it, and it's actually apparently the spirit realm, whatever you would consider that to be.
And that actually touches on something that I do want to bring up. So, um, for those listening, I'm a Christian man, and I have a very strong connection uh, to the in a spiritual sense, not the spiritual world, but in a spiritual connection. Um, Everything that's going on right now is a spiritual warfare. So,
Absolutely.
Meg, you brought up a good point that all of this AI. I am very how is it, logical, practical. I not necessarily I see it, I believe it, but in the tech world, I'm tech literate. So when you bring up about how AI is influenced by the spirit world, the spirits and demons and stuff, it kind of makes sense in a in a spiritual um spiritual connection there, where
Mhm.
my logical thinking is, oh, our our knowledge and tech advancements is advancing up to create these AI models.
Right.
Now, when you share about how all of this is demon influenced, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Like,
because we have all these movies that essentially have predicted, prophesied of what could happen. I mean, you have The Matrix, you have Terminator, Skynet, you have, I mean, even in real life AI models, when AI, when they allow, when the developers allow AI to go sentient, one of two things happen. Either AI uh, self destructs
yep.
because humanity is that bad, or uh, AI models have said for the destruction of humanity again. So this isn't. Yes, humanity is flawed. We are flawed creatures. That does not mean for us to destroy each other.
Right.
What I am saying though is, and like I said, be very, very careful with how you phrase your prompts.
Right. Like, also with the whole AI and everything, because the first real AI that really came about was filters, right? So filters on TikTok, it originated with, I believe it's Snapchat, is where all of the filters to change like how you look. That is a part of like AI, um, computer generating, designing, whatever you want to call it. Um, but that was literally used by the CIA for uh, facial recognition program. So they put all of these fun apps to make us look silly or prettier or whatever, so that it can literally identify us on a regular camera. Like, I can't remember the movie; it's really going to bother me. But it's basically these CIA operation people, and they are looking for somebody, and they can look through all of the cameras in the world on like roads and on in offices, and they can find you with just one click of a button. The AI system in there can absolutely identify you and your face, because of these apps have been recording every detail of your face.
Was it with the actor from Fantastic Four, the original Fantastic Four actor for the thing? Um, it was like there's various. I might be on the right track, just the wrong movie. Anyway, it, it's real, people. It's real,
It's real.
and all of this is, whether you want to call it conspiracy theory, rabbit hole, it's real.
Right.
All
It's a
you have to
true
do
thing.
is think critically on it. Just connect the dots.
Like, were you ever a big Pokemon Go person?
Not. I am big into Pokemon, not the Go app.
So, do you know about the CIA's involvement with the Pokemon Go app?
I would not be surprised.
So, um, I don't, since, as you said, you weren't really into it. Basically, like, you go and you hunt Pokemon all over your map, right?
Yes.
So they would put rarer Pokemons in areas that we haven't really explored yet or that our Google mapping system doesn't have. So basically, they give you this free app to map the world for the CIA because they're too lazy to do it themselves. Oh, let's put out an app so that other people can do our work for us.
No, people, we're not saying to delete your apps. What we're saying is just question things. That's all
Right,
you have to do. Just question things.
right. And then,
We don't. I mean, if you want to unplug, by all means, unplug and quote unquote, Zion is there. Matrix, Matrix. Anyway, um, just question. That's all. That's all we're really asking. Just question the system. Question
like,
what you hear, and
I
especially,
go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, with the amount of crazy current events as it's getting, what just ask yourself, what is behind the curtain that world leaders don't want you to see? I
Right,
just saw a video of uh, Klaus Schwab, or the uh, World Economic Forum, WEF, saying that they're going to implement um, microchips into your brain. Also, the UK is going through a polling uh, to on the digital ID. So you've got the shooting up in Michigan. You know what? That's my sympathies, of course, but that's where we are now.
right.
What's behind the scenes? Just start asking questions. That's all we're asking. Ask questions.
Ask and hopefully somebody will receive. Because I feel like I've been asking questions for decades, and unless I really do the digging myself, I'm not getting the answers. And that's why I have such a hard time when certain creators on here are, completely blacklisted all of a sudden because they start asking questions. And it's like, that's all we should really be doing. Like, all of us should be asking these questions, and nobody should be getting hate or, being called a bigot or anti Semitic or racist because we have questions about certain things. Like, in that is what causes most of the divide to begin with. Like, I was talking to some family about how, religion and politics should, basically not be spoken about. And to me, I'm like, doesn't that cause the division though? Like, we can't have these civil conversations. We can't agree to disagree anymore. Like, we just shouldn't speak on it because I feel like that's exactly what the elites or underground government or the bad people of the world want us to do. They want us to just not give a fuck
Be
and not.
obedient slaves.
Yes.
That's what they want.
Exactly. We're quiet and do what they tell us. And it's just absolutely absurd to me that this is this is what it's come to. Like, how? How has it
Mm,
come to this?
so with
It's
that
like,
said, we'll take a I'm sorry. We'll take a 20-second pause in remembrance of Charlie Kirk. And we're back.
And
So,
we're back.
no worries. So the premise of all of this, sorry, Meg, real quick. So the premise of all of this is you should never be, or at least the U.S., because that's what the principles of that's the principles of what the country is founded on. And I shared
Right.
this in my podcast, and I actually just started to get into principles of the U.S. Constitution itself. Um, for any viewers who want to take a listen. But essentially, you should never be afraid of the U.S. government. The
Okay.
government should be afraid of you. Remember,
Uh,
it is we, the people, we hold the power. And I want to emphasize that, unfortunately, we are 80, 85 years now after uh, World War II, after all of this has been created, essentially.
yeah.
Where did our values start to erode? And actually leading into post 9/11 of that, because that's where it started in modern day,
Exactly.
and and especially with the Patriot Act. And unfortunately, it was uh, re I want to say reestablished. It was um, when you repeat it, it was not reactivated. Anyway, it was re-voted on, and now it's the 2.0. I forget what the bill was about, but essentially it was um, not react. Anyway, I keep forgetting these damn words, but essentially it was re-voted on and expanded. So this this live show, people, this your phones, you're being tracked whether you know it or not. Your phones, and I mean you can turn off the tracker. There's they're still tracking you. You
Right.
may not have a record, quote unquote, a record for them to be, oh hey, you're getting flagged. No, they know you. You're just not doing anything stupid or crazy to get their eyes on you. But
Right.
you're being tracked. So
Right.
where am I going? Where am I going with all of this?
Good
I'm going with
question.
right. Where I'm going with all of this is for, and this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out. For these intelligence agencies to be dismantled, plain and
Absolutely.
simple.
Absolutely. Honestly, I feel like our government has been overreached for a very, very, very long time. Like our founding fathers came here for limited government, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been watching a lot of like old videos of like Charlie Kirk and Caitlin Bent, who I absolutely fucking love, like those man on the street interviews, and like a lot of things that came up recently that I've been seeing is how like these documents are so old, even the Bible is outdated, like all of these things are just so outdated, and it's like I feel like we need to get back to those times. Like we have like completely forgotten our morals, our like actual standing point when it comes to being American. Like we are small governments and we always have been. That's our founding fathers' principles, but it has been infiltrated by evil, demonic people that have done it for their gain and our tax dollars. And all they've done is just restrict and restrict and restrict our freedoms. Like you were talking about 9/11. And after that, with the Patriot Act, I believe, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Just needed to verify. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a Patriot Act. Anyway, after that, so many things changed. We lost so many rights. And as you like keep digging and looking through things like the Patriot Act, and I think I mentioned this last week on the podcast with about Charlie Kirk and how I feel like his death is going to push people to vote for certain freedom of speech bills. But I have a big feeling that it's not going to be about free speech, that it's going to be more about censoring and us losing our free speech. Like,
Yes.
and
And
how
that
many
that touches on. Go ahead.
how many bills do we have out there right now that haven't been completely gone through of things that we have lost for our main rates?
Correct. And I'm gonna, for those listening, I'm going to share this that who is running the U.S. I'm going to tell you right now, Trump is not. He is the leader. He leads the U.S. as president of the United States. Yeah, people can say that he's quote unquote the most powerful man in the world, but really, he's not. You know
Right,
who is? The men and women who served under him, your military, your cabinet members, he may influence and direct certain policies. He's not the he's not the he's not the most powerful individual. He has certain directives and authorities, but he's not the most powerful man. You know who is the most powerful people? United States Congress. United States Congress runs your life. Go to
right,
uh, Open Secrets Gov, I think. Anyway, go to Open Secrets and look through each congressional member of who donates each to them.
right.
Go through what entities donate to them, and you will find out that your congressional members who are supposed to represent you, the people, are owned by these entities, by the elites. They are owned by foreign governments.
Absolutely.
As the title of the show is, Partnership of Secrets.
Yeah,
The United States Congress is owned by secrets.
absolutely. Like there's no if and but about it. Like any country really is run off of secrets if you really like go into it. Um and how they keep their secrets from the public, from other governments, other countries. Like there is so much corruption that has just filled this whole world. There isn't a single government that I trust. There isn't a single politician that I trust because they're so flippy floppy and their business is run off of secrets.
And here's my challenge to the audience, to the listeners out there. Go to your state representative, go to your local county, your community representatives, and ask for their financial records. These are publicly available by law. Make sure you understand your state and local laws. Just you can even submit freedom of information requests and get. There may be some fees here and there if you can, but the point is go into these members' financial, these elected officials' financials, and see who donates what, because that will tell you who owns them. That will tell you as their constituent yes, I'm getting into some constitutional jargon, but I would rather you know the jargon. I would rather you know your rights. I want you to be informed,
Right.
and this is how I do it. You are a constituent to the representatives. You hold the power. You elect these representatives. Remember, everywhere in the news media, you hear democracy, democracy, the threat to democracy. No, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. We elect representatives. And I challenge you to look up your representatives and look into their financial donations.
Right.
CIA owns Congress. Mossad owns Congress. And it's not your usual donations per se. It is the deep state. It is these unelected bureaucrats who stay in for decades. Career, mind you, these are career unelected bureaucrats, officials who influence and lobby. Who do you believe is um financially? Financially, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. As far as who's running, like the operations, Meg, do you wanna drop the firebomb on this one? Starts with an I.
It ends with Israel. Um, no, it depends on what context of running everything, because I do feel like there are certain people that run certain things. So, for example, like the Rockefellers, I think that they run the bank systems. Well, I don't think they run the bank.
Yes.
They run the oil industry. They run how the Vatican works. They run how our schooling works. They, I believe, are the ones that have put everything in place so it can be run a certain way. But do I believe that they are like the top of like the pyramid, I guess you could say? No.
It,
I
no.
feel like we will never
Short,
know the actual names of the people who absolutely is fully in charge of everything.
short answer, it is a conglomerate of elites. However you want to say it. Um so quick story. Meg already shared about the incandescent light. So I came across a video of how the incandescent light bulb um and how just a twist or a refinement of the material inside. Uh, so there's a light bulb. I forget its location. It's here in the U.S. There's a light bulb that has been running uh, without issues and has never turned off for like over 100 years now. And it was a conglomerate of light bulb company businessmen that came together and said, "Hey, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Change the
Mhm.
material, and then we'll profit off of it." And what do you know? How often do you have to change a light bulb? After that video, I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything that I see or hear anymore.
Right.
And unfortunately, all of this happened before our lifetime. This happened in the
Who is
1900, 1910s, 20s, 30s. All of this happened even late 1800s.
yeah, like shit goes way
So,
then.
yeah. So, what can we do now? One, be an informed society. All you have to do is ask questions. Yes, the rabbit holes go deep, and yes, you're gonna find some stuff that you would rather not. Or I'm not saying to be ignorant, or to be naive, please don't be ignorant. I'm not saying to remain naive, but at least be informed of who's involved. And I want to emphasize this: follow the money.
Follow the
Follow the
money.
money. I cannot emphasize this enough. Just follow the money.
Follow the money, follow your guts, and also don't forget that Jesus Christ is your savior. Bada boom, bada
Amen
bing.
to that.
Like we and there's so much to like dig through when it comes to the CIA, and that's been a big thing that me and you have been on for a while now. And there's
Yes.
so many things from mind altering programs to computer altering programs from you know sounds like we need what they fear, us and them. Jesus is here. Amen.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Um, but we can't do it alone. And that's why Meg and I are doing this show. We're just amateurs. And while we're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, honestly, we're doing this because we're like-minded and we love history. And we're critical thinkers.
Right.
But what part of it is we're just two voices. And you know what? I'm just a single voice on my podcast. It's just a quick promo. For
Do it.
anyone interested, for anyone interested, criticalthinkingnerd.com. It's I have X random nerd underscore 88, and if you listen to my podcast, you'll see that I share societal topics. It is controversial, but you know what? These are the topics that need to be talked about. So we're just two voices, and what I want to share with you is Charlie Kirk was just a single voice himself, but he shared his voice. He shared his voice very effectively on college campuses.
Right.
We're just online, and we had a phenomenal episode last week that hit. How many did you say again? Over 100. How many views
I think it
for
was
last week?
106.
156
Yep.
of viewers on Rumble um, watched. However long, Meg, you've got the analytics, but however long, 156 of y'all watched our show.
Right.
And I upload the audio on my podcast. All we're asking is for an open mind, open ears, please, and just ask questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Sorry. My big giant cat won't get out of the way.
And
Anyway.
we're not doing this. We have no partnerships, and I would even
The movie. The Meg.
uh,
That's fun.
we do this out of the kindness of our hearts. Uh, I I'm certainly doing this because it's a hobby of mine. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Right.
Um, I'm not one to, if I'm looking for an answer, I'm not one to just give up. If it's not there, you know what? I'll keep looking. I
Right.
may even spend a week looking for an answer. And you know what? If it's not there after a week, it's not there. But you
Right.
cannot tell me that I didn't try.
Right.
So I know that we've kind of been bouncing around, Meg, and while the show is Partnership of Secrets, the answers are out there, people.
They are. And it's just willing to find them and willing to open up your mind to the actual possibilities of what is done in this government and in this world. Because I think a lot of problems, especially this is something that I wanted to mention. I actually somebody had posted something on Facebook about pick like your superhero or super villain or something to help you save the world or whatever. And every single movie, like actor person that they had in there, is part of the CIA Hollywood Pentagon program, which I don't know if you know about that. But so the CIA has been helping the Pentagon brainwash us when it comes to movies, because what they do is they put it in a movie so that we can think that it's possible, or think that it could be possible, when we already have the technology to do all of these things. Like Iron Man, that was one of the movies that the Pentagon funded. And it's like, why? Why are you funding that movie? Every history movie that we have, from Saving Private Ryan and Pearl Harbor, all of those are under the CIA project.
And I would even share that, you know, which movie or which synopsis has come across my my feed? Snake Eyes.
Yes. Yeah, I wasn't sure to bring that one up or not, because there's so many different people like mixed reviews on it, and I don't want to be that, conspiracy theorist, but that shit's weird. And then if you
It
listen
is
to
too coincidence for,
it's
and all of these. I mean, you've got sorry to cut you off. You've got what was not was it Californication?
that is a good show, Californication.
Yeah.
There's David Duchovny in it. And he was like he was like a movie actor, but like he fucking failed at everything.
Right.
He was an
So where we're
absolute.
going with yeah. So where we're going with all of this is the CIA owns you, and I'm not saying that in a literal sense. We have all been brainwashed by these apps, by these filters, by just social media in general.
Right,
Facebook, Apple, Microsoft,
right,
Oracle now with TikTok. Your data has already been sold. Your
right.
private data has already been sold to the United States government. CIA has it. They've had it for years.
And they don't
And they don't care.
they don't give any freaking shit. And that's what I think the worst and most annoying part is, that I feel like they're just in this, clubhouse dome of some sort, just laughing at us. Like I saw a meme, and I know we're straight on factual things here, but it's supposed to be the lizard people, and they're all like laughing at us because they were like, yeah, and we said that the bullet didn't puncture through the skin of Charlie Kirk's neck, and like just gaslighting us over and over again. And I feel like that's where we're at. They may not be lizard people, but I believe that they are a demonic kind of people who are um, pushed into this because of, they're either, uh, what's the word that I want? Um, they're either paid very high money and are evil, or they are demonic and, want to further Satan's agenda.
Very true. Now, I want to bring a challenge. I know I'm sure challengers, but for for the audience, I have a challenge for us as amateurs. I would like to ask of y'all if you would be open to helping us as online sleuths. We have no professional background. We're just digging for the truth in all of this. I, for one, know that it was an inside job by whoever on the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
Um, forget the assassin. They were just a paid hire. Um, there were two fall guys, the one that they had in custody and the one that was immediately arrested right after the shot. But I have a challenge for the audience to dig into, as I shared before, follow the money. Um, dig into who funded the events or when was it known about these events. I kind of did some initial Q&A, just trying to figure out where to even begin. And last week, I think I brought out with Charlie Kirk of how he questioned, because he questioned about Israel's people that they were wanting to protest. And and this is online, he asked the interviewer, I forget names, I'm really bad at this, but
It's
he
okay.
asked the question, was there a stand down order? Six
Yeah.
hours. Was there a stand down order? And this was back in 2024, I think the interview was at. So
Yeah.
roughly a 2 year gap between, and that is plenty of time to get an operation prepped up. So
Right.
here's my challenge, and really an assistance, not even a challenge, an assistance to follow the money. And you know what's funny of how TikTok exposes uh, crazy and demonic individuals on TikTok.
Yeah.
I would like for us, our listeners, to do the same for the Charlie Kirk assassination. Let's
Absolutely.
figure this out. Let's figure this out. This is all of this for legal purposes. All of this is allegedly, but
Right.
share information with each other. Share information with us. You know, we want to get to the bottom of this. Who deliberately removed a voice, a civil voice? And this is what pisses me off the most is that the whole operation, because it was an operation. The whole operation itself was too fucking clean. It was
Right.
too fucking clean.
So I am going to touch on another thing, which I will say this is usual. This is some of it is not factual. So what is factual is we know that the CIA has used AI to do all kinds of things, but there is also a conspiracy called Project Bluebeam, which I don't know if you've heard about this, random nerd, or not.
Not yet. That's another one
Okay.
for you to
I
dive
would
into.
definitely do some diving down this rabbit hole, I get, or truth hole, whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's a hologram projection technology, also mixed with AI, in order to project things so that we think that we're seeing something that we're not. Which, if you look into it, I believe our government has used it several times. I don't know if anybody remembers the big giant alien thing that was happening in Florida a couple of years back. I believe
That
it
was
was.
hilarious. Oh, hey, CIA confirmed that there's a yeah, no shit. We've known that since Roswell.
Right, right. But a lot of the push is to push that an alien invasion is happening, which, I mean, I don't know if we've really talked much about that whole spaceship, but now it's not a spaceship, but it was a spaceship. It has lights and it has some sort of signal coming from it, but don't worry, it's not a spaceship anymore. It just reminds me a lot of Bluebeam, and Bluebeam project is from, the CIA, of fucking course, and they use these hologram projectors in order to project something that we think that we're seeing. And I believe, because a lot of people aren't going to believe that that's true, a lot of people believe that they use that kind of technology for the second plane, that there was no actual second plane that hit the Twin Towers, that it was only one plane. And there are several witnesses to say that they saw a plane, and there are several witnesses saying that they couldn't see a plane. There is a lot of raw footage that shows that there's no plane, and then there's a lot of other footage that if you put it into AI, it says that there's some sort of AI technology into it, which I think is quite funny. You can also do the same with all of the Charlie Kirk videos with his assassination. I believe personally, and yes, this is not factual, but the technology to do this is factual. Do I know that it was done for Charlie Kirk's assassination? I do not. I just have a gut feeling, and we all know how I feel about my gut feelings. But anyway, so I believe that Charlie Kirk's assassination was not actually real. I believe that it is to push out the truth of what they can do with Project Bluebeam. That is personally what I believe, because nobody's going to believe that Project Bluebeam is a thing that can convince us of something so serious unless it's thrown into the public. Like, there's so many different odd things that have happened in this video with him getting assassinated, from his rings switching fingers to glitches in his face, from blood splatter in some videos, no blood splatter in other videos, which to me also says that there's some sort of trickery afoot here. I also know for a fact that TikTok and other apps like to ban this kind of information when it comes to like somebody getting really hurt, and when they push somebody getting assassinated or somebody who has gotten hurt, like George Floyd. It was on everywhere, right? It was pushed purposely to upset people. And I believe that this is being pushed because also, like the same with the attempt assassination of Trump, CNN, that was the first time ever that CNN was showing that live. Why? And the same goes for Charlie.
I was gonna say real quick, the anchors and the people that you see on the mainstream, they're just the messengers. And in a very small way, I kind of feel bad for them because they get the brunt of the backlash. But if you really think about it, what you guys see are two individuals on a screen. Who's behind those? Who's behind that screen? Who's behind the camera? That's what I'm trying to get at. It's the producers. It's the script writers. It's your. I'm not saying to go after them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying think about who's behind the camera. Who's behind in the offices pushing this. That is what I want you to think about. Who are the high executives that are, one, being paid privately, who are the stations owned by, it all ties back to follow the money. And this is where we want you as our audience, as our listeners, to think critically on. It is not specifically the person per se, it is who's funding, who is funding these entities, who's funding the media, who's funding these algorithms, who's funding um, when the whole COVID vaccine came out. There was a meme about the researchers push the science of who funds them. So if they want to fearmonger, whoever's funding them says, "Oh, hey, here we'll give you research funding, but we want you to put this narrative out," so on and
Right.
so forth.
Right. And who is doing that? Like who? Oh, and I mean, like I can go into theories about who does what, but I really feel like there's a core amount of people that collaborate, and then it goes down the vine of corruption, I guess you could say.
Yes, yes. And I will share this much because this kind of borderlines into conspiracy just based on what Meg I sent you about Epstein. But
Mm.
Epstein was an operative. He was
Uh,
an intel mole by Israel's Mossad. Whether you
Absolutely.
want to believe that or not, that you know what, that's just information that I came across. And these are testimonies by ex CIA, ex FBI. You know, these are individuals who were on the inside.
Right.
Whatever your
And
conclusions are, that's on you. But that is the information that I have come across.
right. And that would also make sense of why everything's so fishy with the whole Jeffrey Epstein. Because like Trump was adamant before he got into office about Epstein being a pedophile. He was the first one to call him a pedophile on live television. He was the first one to have him banned at his locations. He was the first one who actually called the police and reported on Jeffrey Epstein. Like there's so much. And I believe that he didn't know that he was in the Mossad and that he was actually a paid agent until he got into office, which would make sense of why we haven't seen more charges and why we haven't seen more information becoming public. Because if we can't have spies who are going to end up in jail anyway, because nobody's going to want to do the spy work. And so I feel like Jeffrey Epstein is off living his best life somewhere, not dead. Conspiracy theory. Um, but I believe he's off living his best life, and Trump can't really do anything about that. And once he can, I believe that it will come out that he was a full on informant, that he helped the FBI take down these people while indulging in these crimes. And I believe he will end up getting a pardon, which I think is fucked. But I do understand that sometimes you have to play nice with evil. And it's unfortunate, and I don't like to do it, but I'd rather have a evil person on the inside that can tell me the truth than not know at all and have to
Yeah. Oh,
find.
I was gonna. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish it.
Oh, I'm done. No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say that this ties into how the CIA, Mossad share secrets. It is a partnership. This is my theory. Mossad is pulling the strings, but it's a pay to play. And like I said, CIA scratches Mossad, it's back. Mossad scratches CIA's back. It's a partnership. I do theorize that Mossad is pulling the strings, and I would even go so far as to say that Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, not necessarily the leader, but he's the puppet master in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Um, with that said, this isn't criticizing anything that's going on. This is just sharing information, facts on the information that we have researched, and just connecting dots. That's all it is. And I want to emphasize YouTube. There are videos over months, even years old videos on YouTube on that are still available.
Right.
Start typing in Q. I mean, I'll give you one. History of CIA. I just gave you a search phrase. History of CIA.
Yeah, that's
You guys do the rest.
right.
That's all. That is all I'm going to share with you
Right.
because
Like,
go ahead.
and what once you go down and you look out through history, like I've been saying this the past few days, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it too. But it took most Americans years to start questioning 9/11. It took them months to question COVID-19. It took them weeks to question October 7th in Gaza. And it took them days to start questioning the murder of Charlie Kirk. The era of blind trusting authority is basically over.
And especially, and I said it earlier, the CIA has known failures, enormous, egregious known failures.
Yeah.
So here's my question. If there is known failures of an intelligence agency, why is it still active? I want you to
Right.
answer that for yourself.
I would really love to know the answers because, like, we had what was it, the SSO? Or was it the
Yes.
SSO? So,
OSS. But it
OSS.
was it was both. Yeah.
Yeah. They started with that program, canceled it because basically it was against our rights and they were doing unlawful things. So they got fucking rid of it. Then they start the CIA. We have a president that's like, yo, we got a problem with the CIA. They have too much control. Oh, he gets taken out. Then we've got people coming up like, oh, well, if you question his death, you're what's called a conspiracy theorist. You're terrible. And then you go down and every crazy shit that's happened in the US, all of our wars, all of our wars, all of the crazy stuff that's happened in the US has been because of the CIA or
It, it, it really has.
which the
And to
OSM
yep,
also took almost all of their former employees that were what were they were Nazi spies and
yep,
took
yep.
them into there to bring them into the CIA. And most of them are probably dead now, but the morals are probably still in there that were there to begin with.
And Meg, I sent you a link. Were you able to share that link on the false flag?
I shared it in the Telegram, and
Okay.
I will again. Let's see. I'll call down and share a link. I'll share it on Facebook. Blah 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 blah. And I can't share it on Rumble. So if you have me on Facebook, you find it on Facebook. But you can also just look it up because it's just Tucker Carlson talking about 9/11. He has multiple different videos of it, but the video that you sent me more is on like the CIA's involvement, I believe.
Yes.
So
And
watch.
yes. And just a real quick before we finish off this is my last item. The CIA created a false flag. When I say that they have multiple failures, one in part, um, so one of the biggest failures is just extremely piss poor planning and execution of their operations. The other one, they have deliberately uh, been deliberate negligence that has costed American civilian lives to obtain and recruit adversaries. The false flag link that Meg will share, the CIA deliberately failed to notify FBI over a Muslim known terrorist
Yeah.
because they wanted to recruit him. And
Yeah.
there was the operations leader at the time was even promoted to the FBI and covered his tracks because it was a mistake that left a paper trail. So here, so you want to know my reason why to dismantle the especially the CIA, not
Mm-hmm.
just their not just their failures of operations like the Bay of Pigs, but also their deliberate negligence and the deliberate sacrificing of American civilians, American citizens, to recruit enemies of the state, to recruit adversaries, to recruit anyone for inside mole intel, but whatever you want to call it. They have deliberately failed multiple failures throughout the years in recruiting. So that's my take on it.
I'm totally there with you. Like it has been nothing but a corrupting like arm of the government that just gets to spank us around every now and again, and we just have to fucking deal with it. Like we need to cut it off. Then that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So here's my final send off for the listeners. Next year is mid-elections for Congress.
Yep.
I am not advocating for any specific one, but look into your state representatives. If they are connected to any donorship of any funding, vote them out. Vote for someone else. Vote for someone, an underdog, someone who's younger, someone who's a fresh mind, someone who's not fucking connected to anyone. That
Could
is
be
that is
dangerous,
my
though. That
just
I will say that could be dangerous because just about everybody uh, they might not be involved at first but once they get in the door the pressure is on, so like we need a strong candidate. It's not even about like, I mean it is about their connections, but how strong they actually are to stand up and be like, no, I don't care how much money you're going to give me to do this, I'm not going to do it. We need more people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I think is the best when it comes to that aspect. More people like Matt Gaetz, who isn't even in anymore, which is absolutely absurd and he should be back, but you know, whatever. Um, there are tons of people. Like, I don't think the underdog should win just because they're an underdog, because that underdog might be great at speaking, but they might not be so great when the pressure is actually put on them. Um,
agreed.
I
When
do.
and when oh, go ahead.
Sorry, this will be my last closing point. I do plan for next year, which I did this. I did this for I think 2020 or before 2020, whatever one of the last state elections was. And I had people who watched my show send me, hey, do an episode on this state or that state. And I had different people and we talked about every single person who was running, what they were running for, who they were doing, and I plan to do that again. It is a lot of work, though, guys, to go through every single state before the election. And all I ask is that you keep supporting and you keep sharing, you keep liking these, videos. I hate begging for likes, but give me the like, give me the view,
we,
because that
we,
will make
we
me
want to do this
stream.
organically, but yes,
Yes,
the algorithm helps.
absolutely. And then once, that time comes up, hopefully I will, still have everything I have today, and can do this. And I'm willing to do it every night if I have to, just to make sure that I get through all the states before the election. Oh,
We want to build. I share this in my podcast, but I want to build a community of critical thinkers. We want to build a society of an informed society, and this is how we do it. Two voices on a platform sharing our voice, and this isn't. We do this as a hobby. I enjoy it. Meg enjoys it. We share this because we enjoy it. Um, we're doing this as a hobby. If you want to show your generosity, we do have donation links. We're not begging. This isn't. We're not putting on a paywall subscription. This is, we share this because we want to. If
right.
you have generous heart, as little as $1, how we're not expecting anything. If you want to give out of the kindness of your heart, by all means. But we do this because we enjoy. We want you to be an informed citizen. So thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, well, on that note, I think that's all. Do you anything else?
That's it for this episode.
That is all for this random show.